Some of the tapes that we have produced. I've done some very interesting interviews with researchers that I think belong to the dissident line in American ufology. We even organized the American Academy of Dissident Sciences with Al Bielek to try to spread around all these scientific discoveries that have been suppressed by the Illuminati for more than a century. And so with these interviews, I always gravitate toward researchers or eyewitnesses that have something to say different from the party line. Why don't you pull it off the hook? The film on that's called Occult National Socialism or Magic National Shamanism is a panel discussion with Chan Johnson and Al Bielek on the extraterrestrial and celestial roots of Nazism. I mean, the real roots for everything that happened in Germany and all the atrocities perpetrated by the SS and the Nazis lie much, much deeper, actually much, much higher beyond our planet. Beyond the shallow causes given to us by the political, economic-financial explanations for the origin of the Second World War, through banking and political conspiracies and so on. The secret societies in Germany, the Thule, the Brill, the Hugin, and many others, were at the forefront of the ideological, how should we say, indoctrination and preparation of the Nazi party and the elite of the SS. And it's a lot more important to know what these societies were standing for than to know what was decided on this or that Nazi party congress at Nuremberg. On top of I mean, these secret societies were the main ideologues of the Nazi philosophies. However, these societies were only the agents or the fifth columns, the manipulators, on the level of our planet for the interests of half a dozen alien races, the Pleiadians, the Orions, the Greys, that have been stationed permanently here on Earth and that have been fighting with other alien races for supremacy on the planet. According to Al Bielek, half a dozen alien races were involved with the Germans and the Nazis. Pleiadians joined in to help because they were worried that their Aryan seed on the planet would get wiped if the Germans get too much beaten during the war. So that's why they joined in with their technology. So did the Orions, so did the Little Greys and so on. According to the tape, a lot of concentration camp inmates, I mean, they wanted people to, according to Al Bielek, the Little Greys wanted people to abduct and experiment on, and Hitler said, you can't touch the Germans here, but take as many as you want from the concentration camps. So a lot of the missing persons from the camps may have ended elsewhere. The aliens on the Germany side that were fighting the aliens on the Allied side, the aliens themselves were subcontracting for the Agarthian faction of the fallen angelic presence on our planet. That Agarthian faction was fighting with the Shambhala faction of possibly the same fallen angelic presence on the planet. Hitler himself was a channel for one of the members of the Giza intelligences, this alien race that lives under the Giza pyramid. The Giza intelligences that had been mortal enemies of the Pleiadians of Billy Meyer, that came to the planet in the 20s and activated a long abandoned complex under the pyramid. And one of them, and in the film we give the name, according to Chan Johnson, a person who has spent a lifetime investigating exactly the secret occult roots of Nazism and the SS. He has a previous lifetime recollection of being a Luftwaffe pilot and falling down in flames, and hence his infatuation with everything German, but he is not a neo-Nazi, definitely not a neo-Nazi. On the contrary, with this film, because sometimes, twice actually I've been accused of being a neo-Nazi. I just got a badge that bans the swastika here, and I'm gonna wear it in the future on all conferences. But with this film, we want to prove that not only, well, the research that we've been doing has nothing to do with neo-Nazism. On the contrary, we would show that the Germans were associated with some of the not very spiritually advanced races in the universe. I mean, even the Pleiadians are not that far advanced. We have to face it. They have had interstellar flight for 120 million years, and they've had no warfare for only 50,000 years, which is just a millisecond from their overall interstellar flight history. I mean, how many cities have they exploded in nuclear wars? How many continents? How many planets? How many stars? The Eye of God in the Lyra constellation was the last star that they exploded 180,000 years ago, or whatever, 100-something thousand years ago, according to their... I mean, they've been vicious, brutal savages on a different level, as much as the Amazonian scalp hunters and man-eaters are, cannibals are. So basically, there were, I mean, the alien presence on the planet was divided in two camps fighting each other, and so were the angelic presences on the planet, of the fallen angelic type. Basically, the Shambhala and the Agartha factions of the Luciferian presence on the planet were fighting each other. But that's how the Luciferian universe operates. They always, the left Luciferian hand battles with the right Luciferian hand for the further continuation and furtherance of the illuminated Luciferian ideals.
You're talking about our planet?
And quite many others. The way I understand it, with my personal humble opinion and understanding, but in the Lucifer Rebellion, about a third of the local sector planets took side and are still on that side. So we're talking about several hundred planets in the nearby chunk of our galaxy that took side in the Lucifer Rebellion. According to the Rancher book, I've never been on these planets. I have no personal information. So Hitler himself was a channel. He was a trance channel, because at the end of his speeches he would fall down unconscious. And he had to be carried out of the auditorium. He had nightly visitations, he had ghosts, and so on. I mean, some of these intelligence have been in face-to-face contact with him. In this tape also we talk about the Nazi and the SS elites' exercises in shamanism, witchcraft, and Satanism. The Eagle's Nest Villa had all kinds of drawings on the walls. I mean, the most horrific combination of, how should I call it, sexual and satanic and other aberrational art that one can imagine. A lot of the Nazi involvement with black magic, with Satanism, with shamanism surfaced on the Nuremberg trials, but not a line was put on in the public record. National Socialism, together with communism, fascism, and the in fashion these days, let's call it the New World Orderism, are but the different faces of the same old wolf of the global Illuminism. Trying to accuse somebody of being a neo-Nazi is a very funny word, because what is a Nazi? I mean, the Nazi is the different size of the multifaceted coin that has communism on the other side, that has Illuminism, that has fascism, that has basically the brave New World Order boys.
Just about every ism there is, actually.
Exactly. This is exactly my point, and I'll talk at length about all the isms that were created. So this is once more the tape that's called Occult National Shamanism, or Magic National Socialism. Then we have another very interesting tape, which is the German viewpoint on the British